Grade 11's good morning. I have heard your cry. Let's look at some papers that I have, two from the last 2 years worth of theory papers that we find around June, and two of the Pracs, so that you can see what you should be expecting in this term's paper. So,
Good morning. Sorry for the interruption. Grade 10 and 11 Marimba. Again, please to the hall. Thank you.
right, let's look at a theory paper. Let's have a look at this and see. Now, I'm first just going to look at the structure. So we're looking at, let me just make sure of this. I don't want to show you any headlines there. Right. So it's around 150 marks for your June paper, grade 11s. You should be getting about 2.5 hours to do this. And you'll see there, section A, we've got multiple choice. Then we've got a match the column. We've also got true and false statements that we need to sort out. We've then got system technologies going through. We've got networks, information management, social implications, and solution development. It's usually one or two, yeah, and our integrated scenario. Okay, so we've got two of those. Right, so those are questions that gives us 150 marks. Let's have a look at what they were asking. So in our multiple choice section, you can see they're talking about things like the information processing cycle, megapixels. We're looking at accessibility features. We're also looking at shortcut keys. We're looking at storage devices. We're looking at the reason why a web page would be loading slowly in a browser. Some networks. We're talking about EFT payments here as well, system software. Can you see that in the multiple choice section, there's a variety of questions, right? Let's look at this paper that I've got here as well. This one looking at pointing devices, wireless networking, green computing, readability of a document, megapixels. What I'm trying to show you here is the fact that in your multiple choice section, which is around 10 marks, you'll get a variety of questions covering all of your theory, and you will get some prac questions as well. Okay, in this case, it was just like one. The other paper had about 2 or 3. So just be prepared for that. Right, then in question 2, you'll get your match the column. Now, there's always going to be more terms than there are definitions, but like I said to the grade 12s, go through these terms, see, just, how can I say, go through it, get an idea of what they're asking, look at the terms, what does it stand for, what does it mean, acquaint yourself, that's the word I was looking for, acquaint yourself with this before you jump into the definitions. All right, you'll see there we had those, and they covered, again, a variety of different terms. So please know your terminology. Use the gizmo.ai platform that I have. And I'm actually just going to open that up so that you can see for yourself. I've gone through all the various terms over there so that you can actually have a look at these things. Let me just get it open. And there you can see on the gizmo.ai platform, you can go into the grade 11 flashcards. There are various cards covering all those sections. Do you see that these sections are in the paper? Right, so I've tried to have the terms there in terms of what I've actually seen in the various papers. Okay, so we have the same in this paper that I have over here. And again, do you see the types of terms? Lumens, ISO ratings, OCR, DSLR, PPM. This one also PPM, Bluetooth, LED, Trojan, right? So please acquaint yourselves with these. Then question 3, in both of them, they had true and false sections, right? This usually accounts for about 5 marks. Now, the whole idea here is that you're looking at this particular statement. And this statement says, ROM gets its contents by loading them from storage. The next one says, wireless technologies generally use radio waves to transmit data. Now, if the statement is true, then we leave it like that and we just answer with the word true. If, like in the example over here, the statement is false, then you need to say it's false and you need to say why. For example, if wireless technologies used something other than radio waves, if they used, I don't know, Bluetooth waves or something, or they used C waves, then you would just say false and you just change the word that is underlined. Okay? Same story here with this one. Backing up refers to moving files. We know that backups is a copy, right? So we know that's false, and then you just change that. This is talking about archiving, okay? These are just examples. But I hope you start seeing the idea, right? Now, this is the most fun section for me. I love the system technology section. And you can see that this one had just questions, and then, do you see that specs of the PC, right? Here we start with some specs of a monitor. We go down, here's some specs of the PC as well. So, if we've seen it in these papers, what do you think is going to come in? Do you think they're going to be asking us that? Yes, they will. Okay? They will be asking us that. So do go and check out. And I just want to see if I've got it here. And I should have it. The video that I had on the specs of the PC. There we go. There we go. So, yes. Do check out that video because that's going to help you as I go through the specs of the PC. Let me just see if I can bring that over to this side. Just skip these lovely ads. And there we go. This video on getting to know the computer specs. Okay? Good videos, got everything you need in terms of what usually comes in and how some of these questions are asked. Okay, so let's have a look at the content. So we see under system technologies, we're talking about devices. We're talking about advantages of tablets and hybrid tablets. We're talking about scanners, scanned images, and then the resolution advantages of scanning. So scanning comes up. Keyboards, hardware, peripherals, printers. And can you see, this is what I've always said. When it comes to advantages and disadvantages of anything, you only learn two. Two advantages. Two advantages. One disadvantage. Two technologies. One advantage. Okay? Do you see? The method works. Right. Then, here's the specs of the PC and have a look at that. They're asking about the monitor. They're asking about, what is that? What is that? What is that? What is that? Right? You need to understand all of these things. If you're not sure, go check out the video. Also, go and acquaint yourself with some ads. Check the newspapers. You'll see a lot of these ads out there. Get to know what this is actually saying to you. Because you can see from this ad, we're talking about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 marks just on that. This whole section is 25 marks. There's disk cleanup. Do you think disk defragmentation is going to come through? Yes, it usually does. Let's have a look at the other paper. Oh, no, wait. Wrong paper. I must see one. There we go. The monitor. One advantage. What does HD stand for? Servers. Computers. Desktops. Right, there again. Specs, and then what do they want? What are they asking of you from that? So please be able to read this, be able to understand what they are actually saying. This is a smartwatch. That's the screen. I mean, it's a 1-inch screen, people. Right? Okay. Then we move on to question 5, network and internet technology. So here we can already think. We're dealing with networks. We're dealing with servers, clients, cables, switches, routers, the software that goes with that, connecting to the internet, how we connect, wired, wirelessly. Can you see just from that, I already know what's going to be covered. Oh, there we go. A proxy server. A type of server. What does that particular server do? Right? One indication that might appear on your computer screen to confirm that a user is using or is connected to a network. There's the picture of our network. There's our switch. There are our client computers. This is connected via cables. This is going to be faster. This is an example of a little LAN, right? Then you need to know advantages. Oh, look there. 2 disadvantages. 1 disadvantage of a LAN. All right? So you can see what I'm trying to say to you. Here we're talking about HANs, home area networks, hotspots, acceptable use policy. One reason why one should not perform internet banking on a public computer. It's a logical answer, right? Like in a library, I mean, people log on there. You don't want to do that. One example of an ICT that has made the mobile office. What do we mean by mobile office? We're talking about us being able to do our normal office tasks, but on the move or from a different location even. Right. Let me check this one out. Again, advantages of a wireless LAN. What is an intranet versus an versus the internet? Sorry. Learners store their computer work on a server. What type of server? Advantages. Look at that, guys. 2. That's what I keep saying. 2. Network cables. Then this deals with the module that we did on, let me see now, let me just think. It had to do with our websites. And making sure they are readable, they're usable, navigation works, all those type of things. And yeah, they say give 2 reasons why this is not a good example of how text should be presented in a web page. Well, the heading needs to be bigger. This needs to be smaller. We need one uniform font running through instead of a number of different fonts. There's a lot of reasons for that. Okay, so that's what you'll find there. Then information management, really, this is dealing with data, how data is handled, how information and data is managed, how we obtain it. So here they're talking about surveys. What's the difference between a target group and a sample group? What is a closed question? What is an open-ended question? Right? They might bring in screenshots like this. Ask you, give 2 reasons why the following, which appears in a questionnaire, would most likely result in a poor quality of information. Right? This is where you give your own input. Fake news. One way in which the content of a document that is intended for university students would differ from the content that's intended for primary school learners. Okay, those, sometimes this section, there's a lot of common sense, just general common sense involved there. Let's have a look at another one. Yeah, do you see the same sort of story coming up? A survey, right? And answering a few questions on the survey. They might talk about charts, a way you can improve the way the data is collected over here. They might talk a little bit about the PAT for those of you in the DBE who are doing PATs in grade 11. How can data be imported to Access? So you can see more or less the type of questions that they are asking when it comes to that one. Okay. Question 7. Let's have a look here. Social implications. So in other words, the impact of ICT on society. So interactive whiteboards in the classroom. Why are they not used so much in South Africa? RSI, medical conditions when using these type of devices. 2 settings that can control how the portable computer manages its power. So your power settings. They can give you certain scenarios as well. Accessibility features, output devices, a mouse setting. This one deals with an app as well. So can you see real world applications, UPSs, ICT devices that are used by disabled or impaired folks, right? Some might even bring in cryptocurrency. Okay, so that's what we'll find more or less in question 7. You can see what types of questions have been asked. Okay, then question 8 really deals with the Prac work. So there you can see there's Prac work based on access. Here's Prac work that is linking to a file. That's when we insert in an object. There's some Excel. Okay, so yeah, that's really what question 8 is all about. Just looking at the Prac work and asking some theory questions on that. Then question 9, you will have a scenario, and the scenario will have various questions based on it. And I'm not going to go through all of this. All I'm going to say to you is, please, you'll either have a question 9 or question 9 and 10. Let me just check this other one. This was just question 9, the integrated scenario. So let's see. Yeah, question 9. This one was 120 actually. So what you'll actually find, grade 11s, is that with question 9, you'll actually see that your last question, like this one says section C, 50 marks. Let me just check the other one. Section C is usually the largest section. Just make sure on this one. Okay, on this one, section C was only 20 marks, but the previous one was up to 50 marks. That's usually what it is. And they basically take all the knowledge that you've accumulated in terms 1 and 2 plus what you've done last year, and they bring it into a scenario where you actually have to apply it to a real world scenario. Okay, so I hope you understand that. So that takes care of the theory work. So let's have a look at the Prac. So you should be assessed probably on Word, Excel, and Access. And I mean, guys, you can get anything like this. You can get things where you must be able to do this by now. The cover page, being able to insert a cover page, changing that, inserting and editing images, changing your text into columns with a line in between and modifying the spacing over there, paragraph formatting, styles, inserting a table as well, right? Being able to insert an object and have it appear with an icon and link it to the original file. There's inserting a table again. Our tab stops, our multi-level lists, right? Hyperlinks, being able to construct an electronic form, headings or headers and footers, and then inserting fields in the headers as well. So you might want to, they might ask you to insert something as a field in the header. Let's see. Okay. Then in Excel, in fact, let me look at the other paper just so I can get Word out of the way. Let's see. What did they do? No, just more or less the same things. Okay. Then let's just go question number 2. Where are we here now? So you can see in this one, the first thing you had to do was edit a chart. Everything that goes with that, it's around 5 marks. So the legend, adding percentages, changing the fill color, changing the image. Then the normal formatting like merge and center, conditional formatting, changing the height of the row or width of the column. There'll always be a number of formulas, and that's going to depend on your classes, what your teacher's looking to assess there. But those formulas, they'll usually be in here. You can see there was a sum if, there was generating your random number, your if statement, etc. And then access, at this point, you should know how to create a database. Not that you're going to do one in the exam, but you've got to be able to deal with the database, remove the underlining, adding horizontal and vertical lines, deleting records, adding totals in as well. Then being able to go to the design view and change the properties of different fields. So please go and practice that. Yeah, you can see they want you to give an example, or they're giving you an example of a validation rule and text, and then you've got to go and implement that. Cell phone number is going to deal with the format in there as well. Creating queries. You can see here 3 queries, two queries. 2 queries you needed to create. You needed to be able to create a form as well. And that was it for access. Please, when it comes to your forms and queries, just use the wizard, right? Use the wizard to create a form and query. Most of what you need to do is in that wizard anyway. And then with HTML, it's really just modifying that code. So here you can see they gave a picture and they wanted you to do a couple of things. There's a missing closing tag. You need to locate this particular text and format it. And they give you various instructions. But at this point, you should be able to create a list. You should be able to insert an image. You should be able to do the paragraphs or the paragraph tags, the horizontal line. You should be able to make text bold, underlined, and italic, change the font color, change the font face, all of those things. That is really what you should be able to do for your Pracs. So grade 11s, all the best. This is really what you should be able to do. And yeah, let's see if you can get those 80s and 90s in both the theory and your Prac papers.